Well, Matt, to start with then, plenty of runs on the last couple of matches at Sophia Gardens. Need to keep things going?
Yeah, definitely. I think the last game was one of the most bizarre innings I've seen really in T20 cricket from a batting perspective. You know, we had a bit of a slow start, then Ingram goes ballistic, played unbelievably there in the power play and just outside of that, and then we fell away a little bit from 10 to 15, and then, you know, Rory and Waggy then finished it off in style. But it was a real kind of oh no, oh yeah, oh no, oh yeah kind of innings, you know. So brilliant, you know. But we got to that total that we talk about that you can't get there just by padding it back to the bowler. You've got to take them on, and the guys have been doing that. You know, it's kind of not a high risk, but it's a higher risk strategy than settling for your 160s and, you know, in the balance. I mean, the wickets have been great, to be fair to Robin and the work he's done here and his team. So yeah, it looks as if 200's about par these days.
Just how well is Colin playing? It seems strange that he hasn't played international cricket for a few years, doesn't it? The form he's in. Yeah,
he's amazing, isn't he? You know, he's totally focused on the white ball game now, and the way he goes to his practice and the way through his practice, you know, he's a great example to any young player. You know, he's meticulous in his preparation in terms of shot execution. He wants to go through the range of 4 shots that he will have. We know he's got more than that, but he'll stick to those 4 generally at the start of an innings and then expand as that goes on. But meticulous in getting the point of contact right with that, and again, that's one of the brilliant things with having him here as leader and a great example setter as well.
Just how tricky have the last few games been with the injuries to the Australian players, and then Usman Khawaja leaving after Sean Marsh and Joe Burns? It must have been difficult to get the batting order right.
It's just an opportunity then, isn't it? You know, Mesh was kind of wasted down at 9 really. You know, you don't get too many options, and if you do, you generally need strike boundaries from ball 1. Well, we know he's a very capable batsman, and with Colin's absence as well in that period, it gave him an opportunity to go to number 3, and he played 2 brilliant knocks for us there. And he's not kind of done it as opener, but that's the high risk strategy that we're kind of employing with someone like Mesh up top, you know, and not high risk in that we don't back the player, high risk in that, you know, the strategy is to go out there and score at 200, you know. So yeah, he's come off twice, and he's not come off twice, but you know, we've got a couple more games to see him flower, because he's such a great striker of the ball. He just lost his shape on Friday, and then down at Middlesex he's just picked out the man. You know, hits it cleanly enough, just picked out the man, but he's keen to do a bit more work today, so you know, that's a good sign that he's, you know, keen to keep improving.
He's been opening alongside Aneurin Donald. Aneurin's had a few cameos. Are you frustrated that he hasn't managed to go on in this competition?
It's a nature, really. You know, I think you've got to be, yes, in an ideal world, Jay, you want to get those Ingram type, you know, 80 off 50 balls, you know, and or 100 off 55, that kind of thing. But again, he's still giving us decent starts. You know, we're getting a good bit of momentum more often than not. And that's crucial, you know. You'd rather him playing that way and then learn, and we're not seeing the same mistake time and time again. He's finding different ways to get out. If we're seeing the same mistake, if he was caught mid off every innings trying to clear the ring, then look, you'd say to him, come on, you've got to rethink your strategy here, you know. But he's not, you know. He's getting picked out his hit short fine leg, you know. He's been caught kind of all the way around. So, you know, we've got to be, you know, keep backing that style of play. He's such a dangerous player that, you know, if he does come off for that full or even 15 overs, he'll have 100 to his name, and that means we're getting a 240 rather than 200.
It looks like you'll have David Lloyd back in the mix as well. Another exciting attacking player.
Yeah, he had a real good start to this competition, didn't he, Di? And then suffered that nasty dislocation. But yeah, he got the all clear on Monday. He's practiced really well, and you know, the good thing that, from his perspective, I guess, from its top hand little finger, which it does get used quite a lot more than you'd think, really. But he's been digging out Yorkers there today as well. I was putting them in the stands, so that's really important, because a length ball, you're not going to get too much jarring through that. But obviously the Yorkers you are, and he seems to have come through pretty well. I mean, you know, it's not in my hands whether he's fit or not for tomorrow night, but on watching him in practice today, you'd certainly say he was.
And as far as the task approaching the team is concerned, Hampshire, struggling at the bottom, frankly, not making that many runs, but they've got a decent bowling attack nonetheless, with Dale Steyn back in, along with the two spinners.
They're dangerous, you know. They've got a lot of class players in there, you know. They've got more international players in their side than we have in our side. We're playing with, you know, a few of our lads. One of our star players at the moment is Rory Smith. You know, he's brimming with confidence. He's doing fantastically well with both ball and, as we saw the other night, with bat. That's what we've got to focus on, really, and not so much Hampshire, but what we're doing well, and we've got to continue to do that.
And how do you see the task? 4 games to go. Are you already looking in terms of the table, saying 2 wins might do it, 3 wins should do it, etc.?
Well, 3 wins will definitely do it. 2 wins will probably do it, and 1 win might do it. But you can't look at it like that. I think you've got to try and win every game that you play. We know that we've got, you know, a couple of three tough games coming up after, you know, 4 tough games, I should say, with Hampshire and then Somerset, followed by Sussex and then Surrey here as the last game. So by that last game, we'll know exactly what we've got to do.
And for yourself, enjoying the more intense rhythm of matches in the T20 and your involvement?
Look, that becomes more just trying to keep the dugout really a bit more chilled, you know, when the lads are getting into bat, because you can get a bit frenetic and a bit frantic with T20 cricket, and it's just trying to keep the lads kind of smiling and enjoying it. You know, we do all our tactical work and technical work in practice days and in the mornings in hitting and striking and stuff like that. We may have to go over some certain things if someone's not feeling as good as they should be, but the rest of the time in there it's just keeping the, hey guys, let's not get too over the top here, and you know, try and keep those emotions as level as you possibly can, because you're following a guy going out the bat who's just tucked 30 off and over, and you're thinking, wow, the expectation on me is huge here, but we know it's not, you know, it happens once in a blue moon really, unless you're someone like Colin Ingram. But you know, waggy at the back end. But it's trying to manage, you know, manage really the emotions, I guess, and keep it nice and relaxed as possible in the dugout. That's how I see my role when we're batting, and that's why I'm down there with the batters. And when we're in the field, I'll go up top, because it gives me a good kind of angle to watch the fielders and stuff like that, and who's really putting in and who's kind of, you know what I mean, and the quality of throws and angles of fielders. So I feel I get a better perspective to feed back to the head coach on stuff like that then.
Good luck.
Cheers, thanks Robbie.